Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry I haven't posted in a little while. I was just trying to get a good topic to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was conversations you should never have with a narcissistic, traumatized person, whether that be yourself or other people. These conversations can be personal in your mind, or they could be with another person who has seriously bad addictions or trauma in their life. So you have to be careful about the conversations that you have with yourself and others, depending on where you're at with your trauma and your addictions. What I wanted to go back to was the God complex, how it affects our ways of thinking and how it can throw us off and obscure our thoughts and make us, believe that we have the power to advocate for everybody, make everybody feel good, including ourselves, when we're in a traumatized state. I think it's kind of a bogus falsehood that we build up until we can get past the trauma stage in our life. The conversation that I'm talking about, let's just give an example. You meet a person that's going through a lot of trauma or has been through a lot of trauma in their life and hasn't taken care of it, okay? They ask you the question of why you believe in God and, why you believe in this when, all these bad things are happening and all these bad things have happened to them, and can you explain that? Well, that's a conversation you don't want to have with these people, because they don't see things any other way but from their own standpoint, their own point of view, because they're trying to keep control of their out of control behavior. They're trying to keep control of chaos because they have no structure, they have no morals, they have no standards because of the addictive behavior that they've kind of procured through their traumatic life. So their lens is very obscure. It's very narrow. They can't see anything else outside of it. And they would actually argue the fact that because you believe in God, you are brainwashed and you have the same mindset. But it's like, well, if you've been traumatized and you've gone through your addictions, but you've gone through the recovery process, and you know for a fact that the recovery process works, and you've been on both sides, that is a very unsubstantial argument from the other person who's still in their trauma and addictive behaviors. They can sit there and ask you that question, but they already know the answer because they haven't tried it themselves. They haven't gone outside themselves to learn about God and learn how He can change their life and how He can help them to build up healthier habits and healthier behaviors, which they believe are not healthy. Or they have this sense that they are healthy, but it's easier to stick with their addiction and their trauma, so because that's what they have the most control over right now at this point in their life. So all their arguments come from a very selfish, very self-centered, narrow lens. Like yesterday I was talking to a narcissist, somebody who had, lots of trauma. And I came to them and I told them, I feel upset, I feel sad whenever my children leave. And she gave me a hug and she said, oh, well, you'll get over it. I had my children leave, blah, 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 blah. You see what she was doing? She was making it about herself, because I brought those feelings, those traumatic feelings, back into her mind, and she was trying to push them away. So that's how I know she hasn't dealt with that trauma of her kids going away from her and her being alone. She has normalized it. She has normalized it in her mind and thinking that being alone is okay, because if I can get people to advocate for me and make me feel better about myself for being alone, then I have control. But if somebody doesn't feel, sympathy or empathy for their, gaslighted comment, they get upset and they get angry because you have relinquished control from them. So they start to get angry and backlash at you and say, well, you have no right to not feel sympathetic and kind towards me because of what I've been through. But it's like, why would they say that when you're the one coming to them for affirmation and love and kindness and understanding? See, that's what a narcissist does. It goes back to the God complex. I have no control over my traumas and my addictions and my chaotic life. But if I can manipulate people into thinking that I have control and manipulate others who are in their traumatic and addictive behaviors, then I have some control. And once they get that control, it feels good, even though it's a toxic control. And they feel like they need to continue to hold on to that toxic, manipulative behavior and tell other people that they're foolish for going another route. And they're foolish because and they tell those people that are in their traumas and addictive behaviors that there's nothing wrong with them, that they shouldn't get help, but the only person they should get help from is them. But the way they give the help is by saying, well, look at me. I'm having problems too. Why are you making it all about you? And that's how they continue in their God complex. Yeah. And when people don't have a belief or morals or standards, or they haven't been on the other side of recovery before, those are the people that you don't want to get in conversations with. You absolutely want to stay away from those people until they decide that they want to get out of that unhealthy behavior. And I know this was kind of like a convoluted, stretched conversation about the topic, but remember that it's not only do you not want to get in conversations with those types of people, you don't want to have those conversations in your head and try to agree with those things inside your own brain. But this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I've been there, I've done that, I've seen the other side before. It's not pleasant. And then I've seen the brighter side, and so I've been on both sides. So because I've been on both sides, I don't argue and don't talk about personal things with those people, because they believe that they are God and that they can have control and that they can manipulate the world and manipulate others. But the only person they're actually manipulating and hurting is themselves, because they're unwilling to change, because they feel like there is no God, so there is no right or wrong, so there is no change, so I can stay in this comfortable, unhealthy behavior. Anyways, if you like what I said, you can put a like and a comment in the comment section down below. Have a great day, people, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.